In the studio today, we have Zvone Žigon, chargé d'affaires from the Embassy of Slovenia in Canberra. Hello, Zvone.
Hello.
Welcome to Adelaide.
Thank you. Hvala.
I thought we'd take the opportunity today to talk a little bit about Slovenia and independence.
With pleasure, of course.
And what does independence mean for Slovenia, for example?
Well, it's the basis. It's something that means our existence, because as a state, because as you know, it's 20 years of independence means that before that we were a kind of state entity, but it was not the same as being independent country. So, of course, this is like a birthday of Slovenia, like a birthday of a human being, or in this case, a birthday of a state.
Right. And particularly the 20th anniversary, there's big celebrations happening this year, I believe, particularly in Slovenia. Is there a reason for such an occasion, the 20th?
Well, I think it is the reason is just that it's the 20th anniversary, which is quite an achievement. We can be proud of those 20 years, because I think so many things happened, so many achievements were done by Slovenia that in those 20 years, beginning with independence itself, getting all the international recognition, becoming a member of United Nations and all other institutions, international organizations and so on, such as European Union, member of the Monetary Fund as a Euro, a member of NATO, and lately the last achievement was member of OECD. So really, we are now we can consider to be one of the, not the biggest, but let's say quite important states in the world, and all that happened in just 20 years, which is maybe gives you takes you out of the adolescence and you become over 18, but responsible for your acts. But this is even much more. It's a state, and it really gained quite a lot of international recognition, not just formal but also informal, like political, let's call it. We were already member of the Security Council of the United Nations. We are trying to get in again for the next year, and so really quite a lot of activities.
Yes, over the past 20 years, Slovenia has achieved a monumental number of things, like you just mentioned there. And that's perhaps fostering Slovenian identity right around the world, I think. It's like for us Slovenians here in Australia, that makes us quite proud of our Slovenian heritage.
Yes, if you can think that before the independence, in all those censuses that were made all around the world, especially I have information from the United States of America, for example, the number of those who were considering themselves as Slovenians by ethnic origin were way lower than they were after the independence. In the United States, for example, the number rose up from, I think it was about 125,000 to 175,000, approximately.
Wow.
50,000 people more.
That's
in
amazing.
the United States decided or kind of got proud of being Slovenia, because before it was Yugoslavia. First of all, it was a different political system which not everyone was proud of, and the second, Yugoslavia was not. It was a kind of artificial state made up of so many different ethnicities. So nobody could really say I'm a Yugoslav. It was
Yes.
didn't really sound okay. So after that, so many people really decided, okay, oh yeah, that's what I am. I am actually a Slovenian, and I can identify with this state now.
Yes.
So this was very important, and that's why maybe also many Slovenians, even in Australia, feel more confident about that. And we actually do get more and more citizens or people who want to become Slovenian citizens by origin, just because they want you know, to confirm their identity also on this way, formal way.
So how did the independence movement start? You know, I believe, and Slovenia became independent in 1991. But how did the movement actually start to roll towards this independence?
Well, I guess I can say it was a long process. At that time, I was quite young myself, so I didn't really, I cannot talk so much from my own experience. My experience begins in 1988.
Yes.
When I, maybe actually even before, when I was in a high school, we were actually already kind of allowed to talk about and discuss things which were political, which were discussing political pluralism, which was something very, you know, unknown for us. We had just one party and that was it. But we, the freedom of speech, so to say, was on my high school level was already pretty high, and that was when it was like 86, 87. Although at that time I was once questioned at the police also. So it was, but on the other hand, we didn't feel like we are endangered or something. So maybe we didn't know all the details. But then the real experience came in 1988 when Janša, Tasić, Zavrl and Bošnar were imprisoned by the army. And there was the first big meeting, the first big rally in Ljubljana in the Congress Square, when there was 25,000 approximately Slovenians demonstrating and demonstrating in order to release those four guys. And I was at that time singing in a choir. It was the university choir, Akademski pevski zbor Tone Tomšič, and I was as a student, and I was singing there. We were singing Lipa zelenela je, and we were singing Zdravljica, which became the national anthem later. And this was one of the most thrilling moments in my life, because singing something and then you see 25,000 people singing with you. This is something you don't see every day.
Yeah, that's.
It was the first really big sparkle.
Must have been spine tingling.
From that moment on, we just knew that there is no way anyone could stop us becoming independent country. So it was just a matter of, you know, how to do it, and you know, how is it going to work, and how are we going to solve the problem with the Yugoslav army and so on.
Yeah.
So, and then in 1991, just 3 days after the proclamation of the independence, by the end of June, I was already in, you know, in the uniform of Slovenian army, holding the gun in my hands, and, you know, questioning myself: am I really gonna shoot, you know, and fight or die even for my country?
Yes.
It is really something very unique. Nobody could, I could never expect something like this would happen to me, actually.
Yeah.
Because we all believe that it might, you know, just go through without any fight or anything.
Yeah.
But then the moment came and we had to decide what to do, and then we, of course, everyone, the spirit was so high that we actually nothing could really stop us. At least not permanently. So, and we were lucky enough to, with all other circumstances, that we so to say escaped out of the big bloodshed which happened in other Republic of ex-Yugoslavia.
Two dates actually come to mind. One is December 26, the other one is June 25. What are those meaning of those two dates?
Okay, December 26, 1990. December 23 actually was the day when we had a referendum, a plebiscite, or so to say elections in a way, actually just voting for the independence. So at that day, on the 23rd of December, we decided that we want to have an independent country, state. On the 26th of December, 3 days later, the official results were proclaimed and in the parliament, and then the decision was made by the Slovenians that Slovenia is going to be an independent state. So the parliament and the government had a half-year time to make this wish true. So they formed all necessary to you know, to exercise the Independence Act, which was then 25th of June next year, 1991. We had a big parade. We had a big celebration. I was there in Ljubljana in the main the square there, Trg Republike, where we had all these celebrations. And everyone remembers the speech of the former president, who said nothing will be as it used to be. You know, nič več ne bo tako, kot je bilo.
Was that,
he had something else in mind, of course, because he knew, and the other members of the parliament, the government knew already.
Was that Kučan or someone else?
Yeah, Kučan, yeah. Excuse me, yeah, Milan Kučan, of course. The problem, they all knew that, and Peterle, as a president of the government, the prime minister at that time, they all knew that, and Janez Janša, that the defense minister, they all knew that the army is already on the way out of the barracks that night. We didn't know anything. We knew just that every day the jets were flying over our heads, just trying to threaten us, but we didn't take that very seriously. The spirit was very high. So that night it was the day of celebration. Next morning we woke up listening to the news. Tanks are there, tanks are there. I thought it was the 1st of April, All Fool's Day, because you tell jokes at that time, you know, but it was true. So in a couple of days I was called in the army. Yeah. So this is the difference. In December 90, the decision was made, and then in June 91, the new child, the Slovenia, was born.
Okay, thank you, Zvone Žigon, for that interview. That was excellent, and we wish you all the best in your future at the embassy or wherever you may be, because I believe you're actually going back to Slovenia in June. Is that right?
Yeah, thank you very much for your wishes. Yes, and that is true. I was appointed for Australia initially just for 5 months, but then they extended my stay for another 6. So I'm altogether supposed to stay here 11 months, and this term will end by the end of June. So the last day in June I am leaving, and I'm going back to Slovenia. I want to stay in Slovenia for some time, because I was 4 years in America, in Cleveland, Ohio, as a consul general there. Then not even a year at home, and now again out, so now I want to really be home for a while. And thank you very much for having me.